Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Caramel Sportscast. I am your host, Steven Avalos, alongside my dad
Hello.
and a very special guest of ours.
I think a super duper special guest.
And her name is Ophelia Avalos,
My wife.
my mom.
Hey, everyone.
And this is a very belated Mother's Day podcast.
Yeah. So, we just thought it'd be really cool to have you here. We know that you love sports as much as we do.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you paid us well made it possible.
And I don't have to do chores for the next few weeks.
Yes.
Hey,
She's been putting pressure on us to do this podcast for a while. So it took her a while to gather the money, and she finally came up with our request.
Yes. And we were happy to fulfill her wish.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so anyways, though, we're going to start things off as we usually do, right, Dad? Just talking about some updates going on with all the leagues. So right now, the Warriors, they are 36-33. Everything is going pretty well for them. They've had a great stretch.
73 out of their last 10. They
Yeah.
beat the Jazz, number one Jazz, last night. Incredible game.
Yeah, almost another choke, because that's one thing that has happened. Have you noticed that too?
Well, yeah, they were ahead by, 17 points, and that got whittled away.
Yeah, but that happens. They had a 15-point lead thanks to Poole hitting a half-court shot at the buzzer to give us a 15-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and we held on for the win.
Yeah, Curry finished, I believe, with 37 points. He was stuck at 31 for a long time, but then he got a really clutch three. No, wait, yeah, 37, I believe. Clutch three, and then made some free throws to ice it out.
Yeah, he missed an earlier three before the game winner, and Looney got the rebound, passed it to Green. Green passed it to Curry. Top of the key, jump shot, good.
Yeah, right now they currently are tied for the 8th seed, which means if they stay there, then they should only have to worry about one game. It would right now be against the Lakers, and if they win that, then they have a spot in the playoffs. If they don't, then they're gonna have to face the loser between Memphis and San Antonio. And I do feel good about the Warriors' chances here. The Lakers will definitely be a tough challenge if they do stay in the 8th seed or go 7th. I don't think they're going 7th, though. But I like their chances, and I just don't think they'll lose 2 in a row to lose out on that if they're 8th.
Well, the Warriors have had an 8-man roster for like the last month. They have a couple guys on the bench, Mannion and Smailagic, but neither one of them have played for the last month.
And neither of them have really done anything as they have played. But it's things like that that make you give what the Warriors have right now much more credit to be able to win with what they got.
Yeah, everybody's really hustling their ass off.
Yeah.
We're getting career years from Poole and Toscano.
Yeah, Juan Toscano Anderson, he's been great. And
Wiggins. Wiggins has played every game this year, and he shows up every game.
And Draymond certainly deserves a lot of credit, too. He's, since I think through April and May, so far, he has really leveled up on on everything: assists, rebounds, and points. And he's shooting 60% through April and May.
And I've always said, if he doesn't score, why even have him out there? I mean that sounds kind of extreme because he does get the assists and rebounds, but that just makes it so much tougher for the other players when you can easily just not even guard him and double team somebody else.
Yeah, so Draymond has been playing a lot better, and it's really nice to see. And, of course, you got Curry. He's had some of his moments where, his age might be showing a little bit, where he just doesn't shoot as well or he has a few too many turnovers. But I still think he's got a good shot at MVP this year, at least like a dark horse MVP.
Yeah.
Because there's still some people that are more popular right now, like Embiid. He's really popular in the race right now, as is Jokic.
Now, are they popular because they're doing really good, or are they as prolific as Curry is? Curry is amazing, day to day, consistent.
I think Embiid's overrated myself.
I'm not a big fan of Embiid as well, but I think Jokic definitely is a good one. But it's not often you see a big man win MVP. Usually they give it to a small forward or a guard. You rarely ever see like a bigger guy get it besides like LeBron, he's huge.
And we're overlooking Westbrook, who has had, as much as I don't like the guy, he has really played out of his mind. Some of the games he hasn't had Bradley Beal, and he's stepping up. I mean, he's just set the record for
most triple doubles
for a career, and he's averaging a triple double this year again.
Yeah, it is phenomenal what he's doing, and I'm not a big fan of him either, but he certainly deserves the credit, especially getting Washington to clinch a play-in spot is amazing, especially considering how bad they started. They were always able to score a lot, or at least Beal was, but outside of that, there really wasn't much for them going, especially in the win column.
Yeah, and it seems like every game Washington plays is down to the wire.
Oh yeah, especially against the Warriors. Warriors had some collapses against them.
Yeah, both games we played them, Warriors could have easily. They had 11-point lead with 3 minutes left and ended up losing by 5, I think it was.
Yeah, and that was the one where Curry was like really cold in that game. It was after there was so much talk about how crazy he was going against everyone, and I think it was after the Celtics game.
And that might have to do with Westbrook. I think he's a tough defender.
Oh yeah, he plays tough all around.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, I think that's all we got for basketball right now.
That about does it for now.
Yep. And next up, we got baseball. A's have been doing really well. Their homestand was not the best, but it certainly was one that you can say they survived it. They didn't do bad.
They did all right.
They lost the series to the Baltimore Orioles, tied with Toronto, but won the series against the Rays. So, not too much to brag about, but it's good enough. Especially against someone like the Rays, who are very similar to the A's with how they do things.
And maybe not good enough, and yet they are at the top of their division.
Oh, yeah.
So
no doubt about that whatsoever. They're still top of the division, and they just finished a game against the Boston Red Sox where they won 3-2. Great pitching from Bassett, Petit, and Diekman, despite getting into some trouble. I'm talking about Diekman here. And the A's were able to win without hitting a home run. Usually their numbers are not good at all if they can't hit homers. So it's nice to get a win in that style.
And they've been playing pretty steady all year long. After the 13-game winning streak, they split a 4-game series with Tampa Bay, all close games. I mean, out of the 4-game series, Tampa Bay outscored them 8 runs to 7 runs in a 4-game series. So that was really good. They did lose a series against Baltimore and split the series against Toronto, where the A's got a taste of their own medicine when the team that they traded Simeon to,
he went off.
He went off on us.
In the last game, he really didn't do much before that. But then it just also showed the contrast between him and our current shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
The guy that you really wanted.
No, I did not want him. I had hopes for him to be decent because he's been decent against the A's before.
So I should take back that Elvis Andrus T-shirt I got you?
Yes.
Okay.
But it definitely is a bit of a bummer because he does seem like he's happy to be with the A's, as he's always smiling on the field.
Yeah, smiles only get you so far, though.
And he has played a little bit better in the last 2 to 3 games, but still, though, there's so much that has to be worked on.
What's been your most best thing about the A's this year for you, Ophelia?
I love my Oakland A's. And so it's been wonderful to see them come back after they had such an awful start with an 0-6 start. It's great to be able to go to the games and actually enjoy the games in person. They've got such a great young team, and I just love to see their passion.
Yeah, we've gone to. You guys have gone to how many games?
I've gone to 5.
I've gone to 6, and I figure you've gone
4,
to 3.
I think.
4. I think 4 sounds right.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's nothing beats being at a ball game or a Warrior game for that matter. It's just nice to see live events.
Any game is a really good experience.
Yeah. The A's do have, like I said, they're in the middle of a tough series against Boston. They won the first game today, and they're throwing out a new pitcher tomorrow. I don't even know his
James
name.
Capillarian.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah. I do have my hopes for him, especially, to take Mike Fiers' place, because Fiers, his best years are well behind him now.
I don't believe that. I think he still can be quite valuable to the team.
If only ways in the bullpen, and even that, he doesn't have a fastball anymore. He usually hits 88, which is nothing for a fastball, and they rope him often. He might be good in the first inning or 2, but that's it. What do you think?
Well, I know that he was injured, so I wonder if he just really needs more time to rehab, get his strength back, to be more of his old self. Because he was a reliable pitcher first for a while there. Had that no hitter.
Yeah,
Very
but
exciting.
the only thing though is that that was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I do feel like his velocity has dropped a lot. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right with how often he gets roped now.
Well, are you happy with the way Melvin's managing the team?
Well, yes and no. I do like the roster that he set up here. It's still a really good one, but there are some questionable decisions. Sometimes like taking people out a little too soon, and such, or the way some people are put in the lineup. Day by day.
Yeah, because I remember Lowry was on a great run, and you can't take somebody who's hot out of the lineup.
Well, Lowry's actually kind of understandable though, because he's 37 years old.
So what? I'm 60.
That's
I'm 60. What are you saying?
When players are older, they can't play as often as they usually
it's baseball. It's not like a big.
Well, you see that with Buster
workout.
Posey as well. Buster Posey had a year off, and he hasn't played 3 straight games at all this year. And the guy below him, Castley, or however you say it, he's batting in the 100s, and he's really not a good batter at all. So you would think, with someone like Posey, they try to get him to catch as much as possible, but he's not.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Posey is not a lot younger, but younger than Lowry is.
But I think the difference is Posey's a catcher, and I think the wear and the tear on the knees is much different than in other positions.
No,
Yeah.
that's definitely true. But like the year off, that usually does a lot for players, and in any sport.
And why was he out?
He opted out.
Yeah, but he also had another reason. They adopted 2 kids, and that was another reason why he wanted to not play.
Oh yeah, that kind of does fall within the same reason of opting out. Like he opted out because of that.
Well, it was because of
opted
COVID.
out and
Yeah. But anyway, congratulations on your kid, Buster.
Belated.
If I may be so bold as you call you, Buster.
a very belated congratulations.
Better late than never. So you've been happy with his choice of the way he handles the bullpen?
Mostly. I like where he usually puts Petit, doesn't use him too much. You gotta understand he's definitely older as well. And then with Trevino and Diekman, it definitely is a little odd, how he switches them off. Because I really thought they were just going to commit to Diekman being the closer, as Rosenthal hasn't been able to play due to his surgery.
When is he expected back?
Oh, not till maybe I think maybe late July or August.
So it is going to be the Diekman Trevino show for a while.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've said before I haven't been a big fan of Diekman, but I got to give credit where it's due. He's having a good year.
It was a great year. And so is Trevino. They're both playing really well. Trevino's only blemish has been in the 8th inning against Toronto. I believe it was the 3rd game of that series where they had a 1 or 2 run lead, and they just lost the game right there. He just kept walking people, getting hit. Just wasn't pretty at all, and they lost that game.
And speaking of getting hit, or should I say being hit, A's, I think, they must lead the majors in hit batsmen this year.
The hit by pitch, yeah.
Hit by pitch,
yeah. Cannon, he got the A's record, right?
He set the A's record, career record. No, not career record.
We were there.
We were there.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got hit, we said, there goes the record.
Yeah, we all put our hands up to signal it, and in a joke, Canna also, lifted his helmet up to salute everyone. Which is pretty funny, and I think it actually is the Oakland A's record, not the
not Major League. That's held by Don Baylor, I do believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, and he surpassed the record that Sal Bando had set years ago,
and in much less playing time,
and a lot less games, right?
Yeah, it's honestly almost comical at this point how much Canna gets hit, and you wonder if he's actually just leaning into them often.
The human magnet.
Yeah, it's extraordinary to say the least. But A's, they got a lot going for them right now. Astros, they're still going to do what they can to tail us, and you definitely can't undermine them, especially with how well they played in the first series.
Well, I want to say up and down the linemen, I love each of the players. I think they each bring something really special. But I gotta say, Murphy, I think Murph has been exceptional. I think has had a breakout season so far. Hitting the ball so well.
Yeah.
Yet he still under 200. Is he under 200 still?
I think so, but he's definitely he's hitting it really
Timely
hard.
hitting.
Yeah, he hits for power. His defensive plays, outstanding.
Yeah, his defense has really improved. And is there anything else we want to say about the A's before we move on to football?
Actually, there are some teams I'd like to talk about in the National League West.
Yeah, the San Francisco Giants have been. They're easily, in my opinion, the most surprising team this year, like positively.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, they're playing really well. Posey, his year off has really paid off. He's hit plenty of home runs, and he's been doing a great job at catcher with his limited time playing. Belt, he's had some good moments. Yastrzemski, he started a little bit down, but I think he's doing better from there. And their pitching is honestly surprisingly good. Their bullpen, still a bit shaky, but there's just so much going well for them right now. And they did pretty well against the Padres, decent against the Dodgers. I don't remember how they did exactly against the Dodgers, but speaking of the Dodgers, though, they have fallen apart. They had such a good start, and they were really high in the run differential, and they're
2-8 in the last 10 games.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it because they still lead the league, the NL, in like OPS and other stats, but it's just not showing up in the win column. It's got to be really frustrating for them right now, and I don't really get it. And it's honestly just shocking not seeing them or the Padres leading the division right now, and it's actually the Giants holding it. And they don't only have the division, but they have the best record in baseball, which it's, like I said, most surprising team of the year so far.
And you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, while they don't have great hitting, they have timely hitting and pretty good pitching as well.
Yeah. And so now moving on into football, unless anyone else has anything to say.
Yeah.
Just one quick thing. So, yay to the Giants having the best record. However, we have the same amount of wins. We just have one more loss because we played one more game.
Yeah, nice little jab. Nice little jab at the Giants.
Look out, Giants. The A's are coming.
Oh, yeah, I definitely look forward to the Bay Area series, the Bay Bridge series this year. I think it's going to be a little bit more like how 2014 was, where both teams were leading their division, I think. No, not leading their division, but they were both really good at
It's
that
always
time.
exciting to have the Bay Bridge series.
Looking forward to it. Never a year where it was boring. Even in 2015 when it was like, I think they lost like 5 out of 6 games. It was still entertaining. But anyways, though, now moving on to football. The NFL draft happened a few weeks ago. And for the Raiders, to recap how things went on day one, I was actually on a call with fellow members of the Raider Ramble, which I've been working with. A really fun group of guys. And we were all in shock as we found out that the Raiders drafted Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama, because we were all expecting someone like Taven Jenkins or Christian Darrisaw.
Who?
Christian Darrisaw did tackles, which is what the Raiders, that was their biggest need. But it looks like they're going to go with Leatherwood instead. Now, he doesn't seem to be bad, but it's just his value isn't the same, and that's the problem. It's like drafting Cleveland Farrell and not Devin White or Josh Allen. Not the quarterback Josh Allen, but the linebacker Josh Allen, who's with Jacksonville right now.
I thought you meant free safety Josh Allen.
No.
The cornerback Josh Allen.
I don't think this is... y'all trying to have fun with me.
Yes.
I see. But anyways, though, what I'm trying to say, though, is like Cleveland Farrell, he's not a bad player, but when you consider where he was drafted, then that's where you have trouble with the value. It's, he might be worth like, late first or early second, but top 5, no. And that was the problem with the Leatherwood pick. I gave that like a C- because while they are addressing a need, there were 2 other really obvious options to take. But then on to day 2, they did trade up a few spots in front of the Cowboys because they wanted to jump in front of them to get Trayvon Moehrig. I think that was an excellent pick. True center field safety can help make sure Abram just stays doing his thing by playing in the box, and Moehrig can look out for the pass more. And honestly, one way that you can look at it to make it sound better is that if you switch up where Leatherwood and Moehrig are picked, then you would be much happier, because that's how people might have expected it to go. And then later on, they got guys like Malcolm Kuntz, Divine Diablo. Interesting names right there. Then you got Tyree Gillespie, Nate Hobbs, and Jimmy Morrissey. Overall, a pretty good draft. I would give this a B+, a firm B or a B+, which is, it's solid. It's not, excellent, but it's a good one. And one thing that's obvious is that Gus Bradley must have had a hand in this because he specializes in defense. Well, he is the new coordinator, a proven one at that too. And he obviously didn't like the way the defense was set up right now. He knew that this defense was the one that allowed the most points in franchise history. And he wanted to, shake things up. And I love that. And I hope that he's able to do what he can with them because, like I said, he's got a good track record with teams such as Jacksonville. When they made the playoffs, they were an excellent defense. And also was one of the people who helped out with making the Legion of Boom, which is what helped Seattle win their Super Bowl.
So we can see what kind of footprint he puts on the Raiders defense. You're happy with most of his picks?
Oh, yeah. And I have a lot of faith in Bradley. Like, if I had to choose someone to be the key to the Raiders this season, I would have to say him. Because, we already know that the Raiders' offense can be good. Their only question right now is their offensive line, which is going to be more dedicated to the run than the pass. So you kind of wonder how that goes because the league is much more pass-happy than, running the ball. Which is a bit head-scratching because, they got plenty of good pass catchers out there. You got Ruggs, Edwards, John Brown, Willie Snead, Hunter Renfrow. Those are all quality receivers right there. And Carr's not a bad quarterback, so you would think that they should work on being a pass-first offense. But they just don't want to do that, or Gruden doesn't want to do that. And, signing a guy like Kenyon Drake, who's a pretty good running back, along with Josh Jacobs, that's what they want to do. They want to be able to run the ball more. And the offensive linemen they have right now, they are more set up for the run as well. So, that's just how they're going to go with things. But either way, though, back to the draft, I did think they did things well. And does anyone else have anything to say about, the Raiders specifically?
No.
No?
Yep.
Okay, well, that pretty much ends our just our talks about, how every team has been doing lately.
Sports in general.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk to you about your favorite sports memories. So are you fine with starting off with baseball?
Sure.
All right, let's do it then. So I'll let you take the floor here.
Well, as you know, we love the A's and we love going to the games. We love watching them on TV. So there's a lot of memories out there. But one of the big standouts is being at the game when Minai had his no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox. This was back in 2018. Early on in the season, it was in April. Boston was leading their
leading league.
Yeah, they were leading the league. They come into our house.
Into
our house. Minai's having a great game, and we're watching it and we're really enjoying it. But I didn't realize till probably the 7th inning that, oh my gosh, wait a minute, this is a no-hitter we're watching so far. And as it got closer, that sense of anxiety was oh my gosh, is he going to do it? And that 9th inning where we're all standing up, everyone's got their phone aimed at the field as he throws that last pitch and gets his no-hitter, and everyone has erupted. It was so awesome to be there.
So you're saying you recorded it yourself?
No, I did, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see people out there with their phones.
Yeah. And that was a great memory.
I was supposed to go there, but
you probably had to work.
No, I was with Celine. I ended up staying at Celine and my sister. I stayed at her house.
Yeah. So that's an amazing memory. We were there for the Fires no-hitter. That was
mostly there. And the whole thing with that is the first 45 minutes the game didn't start on time because the lights were out, but we stuck it out. It was a great game. Watching Laureano make that amazing catch, watching Profar making an amazing catch to go ahead and keep the no-hitter going.
And you guys left with 2 outs in the top of the ninth?
It was a school night, and like I said, the game started late. So yeah, but that was a great memory. And then one last one is last year, first game of the season, and we're losing. It's are we going to lose the first game of the season? Bases are loaded, bottom of the 9th. Comes Olsen and hits a grand slam to walk it off. We were watching from home. Martin was at work, and Steve and I just erupted and started high-fiving. That was a great moment.
I think I called shortly afterwards.
I think you probably did.
Yeah,
So-
the first game in a while. Not as long as between how that season ended and now, but like it just felt like it was so long till we saw like sports.
Yeah, it was. Those were just a few of the amazing memories I think that we've had over the last few years with the A's.
Yeah.
And you have become quite the baseball nut, I'd have to say.
I think
you do have baseball shoes, A's socks, A's pajamas, A's shirts, A's hats, A's
Jackets?
tattoo.
Not yet.
No, not yet. I like that.
Not
I like
yet.
that. So she's quite the sports nut. Both her and Steven
Constantly checking
are
standings.
the baseball nuts.
Yeah, and then there's like football.
So football, I don't know if I have as many memories that come to mind, but I do have.
You just haven't
one
been to
that
as many games.
Yeah,
Is why.
It's hard to go to games.
It is hard to go to games. There's
Especially
only
now they're in Vegas.
Yeah, there's only 8 a year. But there is one game. Back in 2017, we got a couple tickets from my work. So my son and I, Steven, we went to the game. They're playing Kansas City Chiefs, Thursday night football, and the Raiders were losing. It was 30-23. I think there were a few minutes left in the game.
24, I think. Just yeah.
Possibly 30-24.
Yeah,
And like I'm thinking it was the last 5 plays of the game were crazy. I mean, it was back and forth. Touchdown, no, doesn't count. Touchdown, no, doesn't count.
That's Monday Night Football, right?
It's Thursday night.
Thursday.
And it was, I mean, the crowd's just getting louder and just out of control.
We played it like 4 times?
3 times, because one, it was a touchdown. It looked like it was a touchdown to Jared Cook, but his butt hit the ground a yard out.
Right.
Then they go for it again at the 1 yard line.
Crabtree.
Yeah, he gets it, but they call offensive pass interference, so they got to go again, but a few yards back. And then they do a pass to Jared Cook. He drops it, but they call a defensive pass interference or a defensive holding. Either way, a defensive penalty means they have to go another down. The game can't end on a defensive penalty.
Yeah, because there was no time left on the clock, right?
Yeah.
It was like this series of do-overs. Do it again.
And then
try it again.
Another one to
You talk about pulling on the emotion strings, man.
oh yeah, then another one to Patterson. He doesn't get both feet in bounds, but another penalty, and they gotta do it again. Then Carr, do you remember how it goes? Carr rolls out. He rolls out to the left, and Crabtree catches in the very corner of the end zone
and rolls down.
Yeah, and then they get a field goal to not a field goal, the extra point to go ahead, and then it's over.
31-30, and that was an amazing thing, especially against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
big time rivals.
Not a good year, but that was a great game.
Yeah,
easily. I think it was in the top 10 of games in the season, like overall in the NFL. That was amazing.
Now another game we went to that wasn't quite so amazing. We got tickets for Steven's birthday, and we were on the third deck.
The hottest day of the year.
Hottest day of the year, and it is blistering hot. And at halftime, we got to get out of these seats, and we ended up going down to the plaza level in the shade, and basically didn't even bother going back up to our seats and watch the game on the big screen mostly. And Raiders ended up losing. Was that Atlanta or Jacksonville?
Atlanta, 35-28.
Yeah, we lost that one.
Awful that game. I remember Ben Heaney was the man who had to have the green dot, the guy that receives the information from the coordinator. I'm like, why is he there? And I think that might have been his last game as the Raiders, something like that. Like, he ended up being like in the XFL or Canadian Football League after that. Not much happened to his career.
Yeah, so that's the Raider memories.
Then the last but certainly not least, Warriors.
Warriors.
I'm not doing anything.
So, yeah, love the Warriors. It's great that they're in San Francisco. Great new stadium and everything, arena. But I tell you, I loved when they were at the Coliseum, at the Oracle. So many amazing memories, game after game after game. So it's hard to pick just one.
You don't have to pick one.
But, I mean, a lot of them are Curry's, these last-minute half-court shots that go. And, I mean, he's just something to behold. truly amazing. One thing I can't believe, it was towards the playoffs, I think, and Curry makes this amazing play, goes into the stands, and all the fans just move it out of the way and let him fall. And I'm like, he's your MVP. When your MVP goes to the stands,
cushion his fall.
You catch him. So that's,
go down your jackets, whatever you got.
What
make
you need
that.
To do. You catch your guy.
Yeah.
So it's an odd memory, but it's there. But it's got to be Klay Thompson's 37 points in 12 minutes. Martin and I were at the game. And
12? Oh, yeah.
And it was...
it's not wasn't even 12 minutes. It was more like a little over 9 minutes.
Yeah. It's January 2015 against the Kings. And we're watching them, make these baskets. Like, yeah. And after a while, we're starting to realize that they just keep coming.
And the crowd is getting
louder and louder. And I look to the guy to my right, and he just has his hands around his head because he can't believe what he's seen. I mean, none of us could. And the roars got louder. That was an amazing thing to be there.
The guy was perfect from the field. 13 of 13 from the field. 37 points. And it seemed like after his 6 or 7 shot, the entire arena was... Every shot he took, it was the cheers got louder and louder, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is.
I have the ticket to the game still.
We do.
Framed.
Get it right now.
Yeah. So that was.
Like every now and then, I like to watch that on YouTube. Just seeing it. I think there was one moment where I think he got fouled, and then he just shoots one anyway, and he still makes that, and the crowd's like, "Oh my god! Why didn't that count?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, when Klay had the one game away where he
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Game 6.
Yes.
Something about Klay Thompson in Game 6s. He's amazing.
He's like, we are not going home yet.
Yeah, and they
missed him playing.
Yeah, and Oklahoma City, they had a 3-1 lead, right?
Yeah,
3-1 lead. We were facing elimination.
Although let's not talk about the series after that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
But yeah.
In other words, we have a lot of Warrior memories. We've had season tickets since 2015, and me and Steven, we didn't even see a loss until the third year.
Oh yeah,
which was probably about 20-something games, but the Warriors. We were lucky enough to see one of the greatest teams of all time, and every game was a joy.
Oh, absolutely.
And do you happen to have any favorite memory of yours outside of, the Bay Area teams? Like one that's like, hey, I don't root for this team, but that was really nice to see.
Oh, wow.
I think actually I could think of a couple, but I just want to know what you think first.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure that I do. I mean, I think it was the Cubs. It was exciting to finally see them win after so many years. That was great. It was a joy to watch the fans celebrate.
And the trashing of the city.
Yeah.
But it felt so unreal.
Yeah.
Because they're always known for not being able to win. 108 years they went without winning.
Yeah.
You got generations of fans that never were able to see one, and so for the current generation that were able to see it, I think they've shown some footage where people are just besides themselves because they have that in their heads, and it's just like, wow, that is really something.
What is a team that has the longest streak of not even going to a championship game right now?
Just in any sport?
Say baseball. What's baseball?
Isn't it the Mariners?
Yeah, Mariners.
Mariners have never gone to a World Series?
No.
Okay, and football?
There's multiple teams that haven't been able to go to the Super Bowl. You got Jacksonville, Browns have done championships before the Super Bowl was a thing.
Yeah.
Texans, they're a younger franchise.
But they have what's the quarterback's name?
Deshaun Watson.
Isn't he the number one quarterback in your opinion?
Well, he's good, but
is he the Daniel Day-Lewis of?
Yeah, he's the Daniel Day-Lewis of football.
But then again, he's also got almost 24 sexual assault things still going on.
Okay, next. What team? What sports next? Basketball. What team's never gone to the championship in basketball?
I don't even know that one.
Yeah, because most of the teams are pretty. I mean,
it's pretty more diverse. Like even though
I can't see Minnesota going anytime soon. I can't see Grizzlies going anytime soon. I mean, Toronto actually beat
Pistons.
us.
Yeah.
Thanks to
Pistons. Well, not anytime soon, but Pistons were there.
Oh, they were there, but I mean,
they
anytime
won
soon.
2 championships in a row. I think.
The Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Bad Boys for life. I think is the way it goes.
I don't know about that, but anyways. Do you have any like favorite memories though outside of baseball? So maybe a favorite football memory that's outside of the Raiders. Favorite basketball memory outside of the Warriors. Basketball I think would be the hardest one to think of because I think we're much more team focused.
Yeah,
than
we
the other
really
ones.
are.
We don't really root for anyone.
Well, Tom Brady's
Well,
Brady's Super Bowl win over Atlanta.
Yeah,
We were
well,
watching that one.
Yeah, but you know, you're talking about football. I would have to say the 49ers in the Montana era.
Had we mentioned sometime on this podcast.
Montana was an amazing quarterback, and they had an amazing team, the Washington team. I mean, they were never out of the game. If Montana had a chance at that ball, they were not out of the game. And that's kind of how I feel like with the Warriors. If Curry has the ball, you know, there's always a chance.
And I married you despite the fact,
and that's true.
knowing you were a 49er fan.
That is true. That is true. But, you know, I can't say that I was a big Niner fan. I was a Montana fan. I mean, because he was just...
Or were you just a fan of players that had last names that were states?
Oh, I think you got me. There you go. That's what it is.
Like Joe California. He was never very good.
But
Bill Ohio.
I think part of like what you were saying also is the reason why I think that Joe Montana is the GOAT and not Brady. So I think Brady is the most successful.
Montana never lost the Super Bowl either.
Brady is the most successful because he does have like 7 rings now, and I could see him getting more like after his career, maybe as I don't know if he wants to do coaching actually. I don't think he wants to, but either way, still 7 rings. He's still on a really good team right now, so an 8th isn't out of reach. But Montana, yeah, he that's it, never lost one.
Yeah, and I think of Curry a lot. When I think clutch, I think Montana, the 2 of them. So.
For me, I would say like outside of the Raiders, the Eagles beating Tom Brady. Even though I don't like the Eagles fan base, that was a great Super Bowl to watch.
Oh yeah, that trick play that they had.
Oh, the Philly special. Yeah, that's what they call it. That was like what?
What did we just see?
And it's things like that where you wish you could remove your memory of it and then just watch it over again, like relive it.
And on a side note, the Warriors did beat the Suns.
Woo!
122-106 or 116. So they actually beat the number 1 and 2 team in the Western Conference.
Back to back
days.
Not games, days.
Days.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Warriors.
Yeah, great game all around.
Wiggins once again came through.
And one thing to note was like how awful that game looked at the beginning. Remember, like for the most of the first quarter, Suns were shooting 70%, and like they just could not miss anything. In the Warriors, they couldn't buy a 3.
Yeah, Poole had 20 points. Wiggins 38, Curry 21, Bazemore 17. True team effort.
Yeah, that is great. And one last thing, unfortunately not a positive thing to talk about, but the Oakland A's, emphasis on Oakland, because it did come out that the MLB is going to, they're telling the A's that they should look to relocate if progress isn't being made on their waterfront park. Right.
They should start looking for other locations if they're not going to start to see more progress.
And, go ahead.
Which is disheartening, especially because a lot of what Dave Cole's been working on, I mean, it's about rooted in Oakland, right? I think that's the campaign and the slogans that we've been seeing. And for them to suddenly say, oh, well, we might look elsewhere, it's disheartening. I think there are a lot of passionate A's fans out there. They may not always make it to the games. I wish that they would. But the A's deserve a great fan base. They're a fun young team to watch. And I hope that we're able to go ahead, that they're able to go ahead and make it happen, because I would hate to lose them. We've already lost the Raiders. We've already lost the Warriors. I would hate to lose the Oakland A's.
Yeah, that would just be a travesty. And that has to go against the organization and the city as well. It will be both of their faults, because the organization, with John Fisher, they're pretty sleazy. And the city council, they're very
Well, from right here, Townie's been saying, Chris Townsend, Fisher's in. He wants to keep him here.
And the city council, I feel like there's been a mix of laziness and double standards because they've talked about they're worried about gentrification, I think, like about it, but then they do other things that allow it to happen. So it's like, well, what do you want really? Like, do you just not want a team? And I don't understand the mindset of that. Like, oh yeah, we're okay with that. We'll just become less relevant now, and that like how can keeping them be a problem?
Yeah.
Well, how sad would that be for the city of Oakland to lose every major sport?
It not like over time, but in such a short span.
Yeah, a short span of time, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's something that economically the city really needs. And yeah, it's a big expense, it's a big investment, but it's an investment in the city's future, and it's something that they really.
But a lot of the money's coming from private organizations, private funding.
I think an analogy you can make of this is like if the Warriors looked at Curry, he's like, we know he's really valuable, and we would lose a lot of relevancy if we lost him, but we don't think we want to pay him.
Yeah,
or basically the A's management looks at most of their players. Simeon was really important for the core of our team, but let's just get rid of him and get someone who bats 150 instead.
Yeah, we need to look at the bigger picture. And when I say the city needs to look at the bigger picture.
And what do you call it? For anyone listening, if you can, call your local councilman and just tell them, hey,
Exactly. And
there's got to be like some pressure added to them because this cannot happen. I have no idea what I would do if they did move. It would be so heartbreaking.
We can move to Vegas.
Well, that's actually been the top contender right now.
I
if
heard
they do
Oregon
leave.
or
No,
Seattle?
our family.
Portland.
Our family moved to Vegas.
No. Okay. I like mixed weather.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
yeah, Portland is one. If I had to choose, even though I wouldn't want them to, I would say, Santa Clara. It'd still be called Oakland. Niners do that. But anyways, though, if not, I don't want it to be Vegas. It would be fun if they had to share with the Raiders somehow. that would be really funny.
No, that's a football-only stadium. Nice.
But it'd be funny.
Happened.
Yeah, I'm not saying it would happen, but it'd just be hilarious. Because they get more part of the reason why they got out of there was because they didn't want to share.
Yeah.
But Portland honestly does sound a little interesting. I don't want it still. They still got to be in Oakland.
Is Portland even in the conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah. There has been I think talks about Portland.
I think the money would be in Vegas. I think that Major League Baseball would want him to go there.
I say, you know what? Don't just do an expansion team. There's only 30 teams. Make it 32. You get a team. Just put an expansion team in Portland and Vegas. Although they do have to change up the divisions though.
Just keep going. Just keep the A's here.
Well, because then it's going to be imbalanced. Because every team has 5. Every division has 5 teams. If you only add 2, then that means
there's 5. There's not 5 in the West.
Yeah.
What's the 5 teams in the West?
Mariners, Angels, Astros, Rangers.
That's 5. That's 4.
Okay. But anyways, though.
I didn't graduate from school, guys. So.
Anyways, though, we hope you all enjoyed this. Did you have a fun time?
I had a great time. Thank you for having me as a guest.
And thank you for joining us on this podcast. It was fun.
Yeah, it really was. Had a good time.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's way too late. You have to join us more often.
I can make appearances here and there.
Okay. Well, you got as long as you keep paying us the way you are, you can join anytime you want.
Well, we hope you enjoyed, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.